reacting to the latest episode of Friday Night Smackdown. And we did get a Netflix feed, I believe, this time. So, yay.
Commercial free, sort of.
Sort of. That was good. I always appreciate it. But other than that, I have to say that this is one of those middle of the road, middle of the month Smackdowns. We're like at that midpoint between events, and it just felt really, really flat to me. I think there might have been a couple reasons for that, and one of them is because Saturday there was this big Triple Mania AAA event in Mexico City, and some of the WWE talent was even there participating, including Dirty Dominic. We had Raquel and
the Judgment Day,
Roxanne and Judgment Day. A lot of Judgment Day was there. We had a El Grande Americano. We had Dragon Lee. So there was some WWE faces. And I don't know if that played a part. Triple H was in attendance. It was a big event. You know, it's a big deal. It's like WrestleMania for Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
But in the meantime, let's turn our attentions back to Friday Night SmackDown. And the big news coming out of this episode has to be Sami Zayn moving from the Raw roster to the SmackDown roster, Nika. And he came out right away at the start of the show, announced his presence to Solo Sikoa, who had come out with the MFTs, as they're being called, My Family Tree, if you are uneducated and don't know yet. MFTs stands for My Family Tree. But Sami Zayn comes out, doesn't want to fight, but wants to announce to Solo Sikoa that he has officially moved from Raw to SmackDown and is now targeting his United States Championship.
Whoa, so he's got a shot at the belt.
Well, he wants one. He certainly has his eyes on it. I don't think he has formally gotten a match yet. Do you think that this is something that might be added to Paris, or is that too soon for all of this to materialize?
I don't think it's too soon. I think it's a possibility.
Okay. Well, I want to keep it on that for a second because this led to a little brouhaha in the ring, and Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu come down to aid Sami Zayn in his fight against the MFTs and Solo Sikoa, and it leads to this big 6-man tag team match happening later that night. And it was Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy Uso defeating the MFTs. It was Tala Tonga, Solo Sikoa, and JC Mateo with also, don't forget, Tonga Loao, who is sitting off in the corner over there. He's a little bit smaller in the headspace, huh? He wasn't part of the match officially, but he was at ringside. But Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Jimmy Uso get the win here, and we see a sort of fragile alliance at the end of the episode as it went off the air form between Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu, which is my big question over this. Is while I think the rosters are unbalanced right now, there's no way you can tell me that Raw doesn't have a superior roster to SmackDown across the board. And that's not to take anything away from the different characters, but also it feels bad when you don't have your main talent on the episode. More on that at the end. But nevertheless, do you think that the alliance between Sami Zayn and Jacob Fatu is going to hold while Sami comes and says, like, I want the United States Championship? I mean, doesn't Jacob want that back?
I would say so. Yes, that he does wants the back. Now, is that an alliance of convenience for some kind of a tag team before either one of them challenges Solo Sikoa for a belt?
Yeah, I mean, we've had Jacob and Solo a couple times now, and it makes me wonder if like they need to mix it up just to not have the same repetitive match. Nevertheless, I don't expect any lost love between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa to happen either, and I feel like that feud is going to extend on. It's going to continue on as we move forward, and it could be even a WrestleMania type match.
But how does Sami fits into all this? I know they moved him for probably to balance, like you call it, the cards.
Yeah.
Does that balance enough? I don't think it does.
I don't know if it does either. And I just want to say, before we move on from this particular segment, I feel like they need to get rid of the rosters in a sense and just intermix which characters can appear on which shows more often. You know, like we, for example, saw Alexa and Charlotte appear on Raw just a couple weeks ago to defend their newly won tag team championship belts against Roxanne and Raquel, who wanted a rematch, and they are on the Raw brand. So that match happened on Monday Night Raw. What's wrong with that? Why can't that happen more often? You know, when John Cena and Logan Paul were tag teaming up to take on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, we saw Jey Uso on the Smackdown show quite a bit. And the Smackdown fans probably enjoyed his entrance being on the show. So some of these roster rules are confusing and just seem weird and like unnecessary. Restrictive tape, you know? I also feel like you cannot have the problem of having every top A list talent dominate both Raw and SmackDown. Like you can't have Seth Rollins being on SmackDown and Raw and then SmackDown and Raw every week. You know, you got to keep it balanced and fair. So I'm not suggesting that.
You need to rotate. There needs to be a rotation, and the crossover between those two events, there's no need for it.
This is the last thing I want to say about this because I just realized it and remembered it. Did Seth Rollins offer Sami Zayn a spot on SmackDown recently? And is this any kind of foreshadowing that perhaps Sami Zayn has reconsidered Seth Rollins' offer?
I don't remember, but I do remember him offering to Sami a spot on his crew or sort of like a posse thing. He just didn't want to fight him.
I feel like he said something like, you could be a star on SmackDown or something.
Oh, maybe.
Just some food for thought.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right. Well, let's move on. After appearing on Raw, as we mentioned, and then they had a cake fight last week, Alexa and Charlotte were back on SmackDown. They were not on Raw this past week. So they're, I guess, back to their regularly scheduled programming. And here we had Alexa Bliss taking on Piper Niven in a little bit of a, well, I call this an odd matchup because you have like the clear heavyweight with Piper taking on like little Alexa, and it just looks odd, right? It looks a little unbalanced.
Sure.
You know, we kind of questioned Jey Uso in the same way, being able to do a spear on Bronson Reed, but nevertheless, we get these odd matchups from time to time, both on the men's side and on the women's side. And David versus Goliath, right?
Yeah.
Classic Bible story.
Wait till we talk about the Triple Mania.
Oh, yeah. They put it in some extreme
perspectives.
Good word.
Sweet.
Good word. Anyways, we had no birthday cake this time. We had no tag team championship matchup, just a matchup here. And Charlotte was in like a black dress and barefoot at ringside, and she got taken out, which led to the salute over here. Chelsea Greene and the Secret Hervice getting the last laugh, according to WWE social media. And Nika, are you buying into this feud between Blissful Flair and the Secret Hervice? And
I can get behind it for a little bit.
For a little bit, it falls flat for me. Because I just feel like Charlotte and Alexa deserve better. And
that's true.
I feel like for everything we were talking about balance, I feel like the women's division on SmackDown has gotten unbalanced a little bit. And there's a lot of women on Raw right now. And this does not feel like the best competition for Alexa and Charlotte. And at the end of the day, it winds up feeling like filler.
It does. It really does. And also, how much more can you take of Chelsea Greene comic relief? I mean, I get it and you need it, but you got to move on. Should she always
be the brunt of the joke is what you're asking.
Well, in a way, I know she accepted the job as such, but at the same time, give her something else to do. I don't need to see Chelsea Greene every week in a cake batter.
Yeah. She doesn't need to be the brunt of the joke all the time. Although, like you said, she got the last laugh here. She gets the salute with the Hervice.
Yeah.
So... I don't know if I like this feud or not, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily go away because of, you know, it's a feud of convenience right now. They're both on SmackDown as a groups, and they both don't have like a ready, set, go opponent. And now that they're tag team champs, I think we thought Charlotte and Alexa would make great tag team champions, but it makes me wonder if they thought far enough ahead, like, what are we going to do with them once they're champions?
Yeah, who will challenge them other than Judgment Day?
Correct. So they need to come up with some new blood, some new opponents.
Maybe
and I don't know if the Hervice is it.
I don't think that's the answer to that either.
Okay. All right. Well, really, SmackDown was a little bit empty this week. And the only thing really worth talking about from my perspective was a couple of these promos. But before we get into it, I want to say this episode, we had no Logan Paul. We had no Cody Rhodes. We had no John Cena. And therefore, we had three of the big, I would say, four faces of WWE right now on the male side not in attendance on their show. And they left it up to Drew McIntyre to hold down the fort last Friday, and that's just not enough for me. You know?
Yeah.
It's just not enough for me, especially if I'm a paying customer in the audience of this show. Like, I don't get to say thank you, Cena. Like, how many of them wanted to thank Cena last night? And I'm not saying he should appear on every episode or anything, but it's his farewell tour. People come with certain expectations, and then they don't get them met. Yikes.
Yeah. It was a little flat, but they played the recorded version of Logan Paul and Cena from a previous encounter from Raw of that week.
That's great. I have a TV in my living room.
Exactly. This isn't a...
And they also, they wasted airtime. You know, we just went from getting cut from 3 hours down to 2 hours.
And they still cannot fill it.
And now we're filling the 2 hours with a pre-cut promo. Like, what are we doing here? I thought we had too much talent that we couldn't fill the time blocks with. Then we get time cut and we still can't fill it. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Makes me wonder. I have questions. Meanwhile, on the left side of the frame, you'll see the women's had a backstage promo. They didn't even get out to the ring, Nika.
I know.
No Tiffany.
No Tiffany
Jade.
time. No Jade.
No Nia Jax.
Nothing.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, I think the audience would want to interact with these characters above and beyond this. And it's really bad storytelling. And it's a pattern I've noticed on SmackDown to take these behind-the-scenes interviews or promos or whatever and not follow through with at least some kind of match that night or something. You know, like, why couldn't we get Jade versus Nia Jax last night? It's just a match to be like, hey, we both want something from Tiffy. Let's settle our disputes.
Right, and whoever wins gets the chance at the title.
Maybe. I don't know if that's a fair process or not,
okay,
but at
fine.
least give me a match. I don't need the stipulations. I don't need all the stakes. But
fine.
Instead of that pre-cut promo, I'd have rather had this match is my point. And, you know, Drew McIntyre holding down the fort, that's fine. But out of all the characters, you know, this isn't a personal attack on Drew McIntyre per se, but he doesn't scream out to me as like the most charismatic character.
Well, he was there to defend his position regarding Cody Rhodes and potentially challenge him for the belt.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, why didn't we just get all of that here and get it at least underway? I mean, we are like 13 days away from this event. We are less than 2 weeks away. Why can't we have the card and the artwork and the promo start to happen and build the excitement?
Bad writing.
Anyways, we'll wait and see if anything happens on Raw with this, because we already know the big Raw match. We got that announced. So it would be now, the 22nd, it would be less than 10 days before the Paris event that we start to find out this stuff. Now, I will say, the next SmackDown is going to be overseas. It's going to be in the
Ireland?
United Kingdom. I don't remember if it's Ireland or Wales or where. I think it's starting in Ireland.
I thought so too. I thought they were starting there.
It's possible Drew gets his big announcement across the pond because he might be a little bit more popular there and big, and we'll have to wait and see how it all goes down this Friday on SmackDown. Overall, this episode of SmackDown was a letdown for me.
Yes.
And it just feels like they continuously get in this pattern where in between events, they like run out of ideas or something, and
feels flat.
They trot out the same promos. Literally, this time they recycled one and re-edited it together and showed it on the Titantron, apparently to the audience at hand. Showed it to us on our televisions. We got nothing new, is my point. And anyways, it's a bummer.
Yeah,
but
do better.